Well, hello there. It has been a while since I put out a video, and the last time you may have watched a CF Moto video, I said this. Are there more videos to come? Absolutely. I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos on this. And like I said, I had plans on doing a ton of CF Moto videos on this channel because CF Moto has lent me this bike and I've had this bike for several months. But that being said, life happens and I have not had the time to ride all summer. It is now September and I've had this bike since April and I've put like 100 miles on it. I know you can click away right now if you want. It is so sad. But I went to Africa in April right after getting this bike. We have had just a ton of personal stuff going on. We built a house. This here is the new Backcountry Garage. If you're not following the Backcountry Garage channel or on Instagram, definitely follow down below in the description. That is a new channel that I started. There's not even any videos on it yet. I have like a couple of posts on Instagram, but it is game on. We're back.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
There's gonna be new videos on this channel as well as on that, but definitely follow Backcountry Garage. It's not just moto specific, it's everything garage, everything that guys like you and I, gals like you, like you and I, that doesn't make any sense. People like you and I, and if you like that type of stuff, like tinkering in the garage, messing with bikes, messing with cars, all that kind of stuff, that is the channel for you, so definitely follow it. I've got the Ibex 450. It's still basically in stock form, except for it does have a Black Dog skid plate. So Kurt from Black Dog does not live very far from me, and he was not able to get his hands on one of these bikes. And he's like, hey bro, I know that you're not riding that thing because you're so freaking busy. Can I borrow it so I can mock up a skid plate for it? Absolutely. So he took it over his shop. He has been working hard on getting a skid plate mocked up for it. So he was kind enough to leave it bolted up. And we're gonna beat it up and see how it holds up. So I have a lot of CF Moto factory parts to put on this bike to make it adventure ready. I'm gonna get that done here in this video. There'll be a quick little montage of me bolting some parts up, and then we're gonna go out and we're gonna ride this bike. We're gonna test it off-road, and that is what this whole video is gonna be about, the CF Moto off-road test. So me and 3 friends are gonna go ride out this week from like Tuesday to Sunday here around Idaho and Montana, and we're gonna go put this bike to the test. There'll also be a separate adventure ride cinematic style video that I've put out on this channel, similar, or using this bike as well. But that is not what this video is about. This video is about the review, and that is what we're gonna be doing, so let's get into it. Let me just do a quick little rundown and show you what I've got here. So kind of your typical things that you need to replace, some foot pegs to make it more off-road ready. I've got some protection parts here, like reservoir protection parts, kickstand foot, some off-road lights, which I did not know that these are actually made by Denali, which is pretty sweet. This is a bolt-up pre-wired kit, literally plug and play and bolt up, which is pretty sweet. They have a really awesome relationship with Denali to make this happen. I have some soft luggage that is similar to, like, say, a Giant Loop or Moscow Moto luggage, soft luggage. I don't know that it will be the quality of what Moscow Moto is, because, you know, if you've watched this channel for a long time, I dig Moscow Moto. They are the pinnacle of soft luggage, but we're gonna put this soft luggage to the test and see how it holds up on this 5-day ride. I'll be putting a phone mount on here, so I've got a little bit of GPS to run. What else are we doing here? Oh, in this box, I've got some like luggage mounts to keep them off the plastics. Those mount up here. I'm gonna be running stock tires and stock suspension, stock gearing. All of that is gonna remain stock, but we're gonna, again, just be bolting up some factory parts. And yeah, let's do that. So far, this is one of the easiest high fender kits I've had to put on. The one in the Africa Twin, having to replace brake lines and stuff was pretty horrendous. Same thing with the T7, but this one's nice. So we got the high fender kit mocked up. Chad brought up a good point a minute ago. We're gonna put the driving lights kind of mock those up and see, because we're thinking we got one bolt in here now. We're probably gonna have to pull that fender in order to put this Denali light kit on. So we'll see how this goes. This is supposed to be completely bolt up, 2 bolts and plug and play. So gonna pull off some of these plastics and we'll find where all it plugs in. So we got these guards on, just getting the skid plate back on, and just realized that these are not compatible with the Black Dog skid plate. That is now sticking out further because it's got this plastic guard. So not enough tolerance there to get these in. It's sitting kind of down like this. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that and put the stock ones back, or put stock bolts back in. So on this side, skid plate and this side cover guard work out just perfectly fine, but here on the other side, yeah. That seat was way lower than I thought it was. The skid plate pretty much does the job. Are still exposed here, but I'm hard pressed to really think that that plastic was really going to protect this too much. But anyway, I think we'll be just fine. All right, so here it is, right here behind me. I've got the Ibex 450. I've got all the factory parts that were sent to me to make this adventure ready. Now, don't get me wrong, this bike is ready out of the box to go and take off-road on any adventure. Just add some luggage and you're good to go. But just to make it a little bit more protected, and also just to kind of give it that more off-road look, went ahead and added a few parts to it. I'm gonna go a quick walk around and I'll show you all the things that we did. So starting right here in the front, I've got the high fender kit. I think that looks really, really good. This was an easy bolt on. One thing nice about the factory parts is that they are already designed for this, so everything just bolts right up and looks really good, super easy. You have the CF Moto dual branded Denali riding lights or driving lights. These things also look really good, give the bike a lot more light, easy to be seen in the daytime as well as at night. They shine really far, giving you a nice, good, clean light. Again, easy install, and man, they're just tucked right up in there. They obviously give it that nice factory look. You don't have any lights just kind of hanging off there or anything like that, like some manufacturers do. I've got this plastic clutch cover just to protect the clutch when the bike goes down, because it will. Also, these off-road pegs, nice grippy aluminum pegs, no more of that rubber stuff there in the middle. One item here that's not factory is this Black Dog skid plate. Kurt from Black Dog took this bike and fitted up a skid plate for it and was nice enough to leave it on. One thing about this bike is that the exhaust, the oil filter, all those things are down low, so having a nice sturdy skid plate is definitely a must. Moving around to the back over here, West Wind luggage. You guys know that I am a diehard Moscow Moto fan, but West Wind Moto has teamed up with CF Moto, and they have actually made some pretty dang nice luggage for this bike. Again, CF Moto branded, it's a factory accessory. They also do a, so we can see it under here, this whole wrap from this side all the way around is a aluminum bracket to keep the, you might be able to see it in there, to keep the luggage off of the bike. Obviously got a heat shield there to keep it off the exhaust. Got a nice kickstand foot, for that soft ground, keeping it from poking or ice picking into the ground, keeping your bike standing upright when you put the kickstand down. And that's really about it. Not a whole lot of accessories, but just the essentials. couple things I'm going to add here in the future are definitely going to be some proper hand guards. I'm just running my phone with the Peak Design GPS mount, running my phone as a GPS. Another thing I did was I did put a couple of turns onto the preload. This bike does not have a remote reservoir to turn to get your preload up, so you do have to adjust the rings. But I put a couple turns on that just to kind of get the sag about where it should be. And so far, it seems to be riding pretty well. I have a track back here that I went and rode it on, loaded down, and it feels really nice. So that is enough about what I did to the bike. Let's do what you are here for, and let's go ride this thing and go put it on a proper adventure ride. All right, so we're getting ready to roll. Got Chadster, Mr. Papa Wheelie, and got Dan, CF Moto. Let's see if the old CF Moto can hang with the two, in my opinion, best adventure bikes out on the market right now. This little 450 twin cylinder handles so well, feels great on the twisty roads, man. It's just nuts that a bike with a small displacement like this can do 78 miles an hour, 77 miles an hour, just cruising. I mean, all the power you need for, especially for like a starter adventure bike. And it's comfortable. So I did about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of pavement to get to where we're going, but this is one of my favorite little off-road sections up here. It's got some 2-tracks, some little tank traps that we can jump and test the suspension on this little bike, and it'll be a good start to the off-road sections of this trip. The suspension on this thing, I did put 2 full turns of preload in the rear just because of the little bit of weight we've got on the back here, but stick. Oh yeah. Woohoo, yeah, buddy. Tree. Oh yeah. This actually feels really good. Doesn't feel like it's bottoming out or anything. Turn traction control off because I forgot.
I caught a little too much air back there.
Yeah.
Right into the tree.
Dude, I am so surprised that this bike is not just casing. Like, I'm getting
soaking it up pretty good.
It's soaking it up great. This is definitely a good test for it because we got, essentially a fully loaded. We got all of our camping gear, food, all that stuff, and we're just throwing it around.
You're going every bit as fast as I am with a rally suspension.
Just don't hit a corner too wide. Oh, good one here.
Whoa, dude. Whoa, dude. That was huge.
I know. I need to do that again.
We need to go back there.
Yeah,
that was big.
We're gonna hit that again. Another big one. Don't want to blow out Fork Seal's first day here, so.
Or ankles.
Yeah, I mean, it's tractoring up this stuff, even though it's pretty loose, So, and we're not going slow. I mean, we're doing almost 30.
Doing 25 miles an hour up this.
Yeah. I think this might be the tippy top.
Yep.
Oh, hit the skid plate. That's what I was trying to do.
Well, why didn't you do it, Kyle?
because I hit
I'll
the skid
scooch over
plate
for
that
you.
stopped me. I don't know, I can get it now with the momentum. Tractor factor. Good at that sitting down.
Nice. Well, this would be a great view if it wasn't so smoky.
Yeah, man, if it wasn't smoky, this would be awesome. Well, we did it. Yay.
Made it. It's no Starbucks, but it will do. For no Starbucks?
All this way, and there's not even a Starbucks up here. My GPS said there was a Starbucks up here. All right, I'm gonna turn around.
Nice. Oh, geez. Oh, you lost one of your panniers. You lost your left. It's coming off.
So this is why the whole buy once, cry once thing is important, because we're about an hour in and my left pannier's hanging off. If you look, it just tore through, and I don't have this loaded down. It's like my sleeping bag and stuff like that. It's been flopping, so I'm gonna re-secure this and hopefully get back on the road here. Zip ties, we're running a Moscow like volley strap through the bag, through this side, through my top Fieldcraft bag, and around my chair. I ain't going nowhere. 4 hours later. That's actually way better than it was. This one's pretty floppy, but
I have more of those straps in my...
I have like 3 more in here, so I may have to use them, but let's just get to camp. What'd you say, Chad?
I said I want Mountain House.
Oh my gosh. He was asking if we could say the word moist on camera. It's funny to me that actually weirds people out.
Right.
Forgot about my bags.
You're good.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Is it falling?
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker.
We got a belay strap that other side.
Yeah, let me get up here where it's flat. Okay. You got it?
Yep. It's not going anywhere. Where you going?
Nope.
Nowhere.
You just said that like 10 minutes ago. This little Enduro.com tool does awesome. Throw it in your bag. Really easy to get to. It's got everything you pretty much need for these quick fixes like tightening handlebars or tighten up in your phone mount. So.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Boing, 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 boing. She gets a little bit loose, a little bit chunky. Nope.
Oh, that's a steep one.
Yeah, steep and loose.
Ooh. Just watch you get a little sideways.
Dude, all the
Whoa.
butterflies, it is wild.
Oh, yeah,
this, but
buddy.
I have no idea what was underneath it. Oh, it's slimy.
Hear that black dog skid plate singing?
Yep. Oh! Yeah, the ass just slid around. It was like the slowest little sit down ever to not roll in the mud. Yeah, she's, look at that. Whee! Look at that. Can't end a bike review without a nice little cup of espresso. Okay, so it's been a few days since the multi-day ride that I did on this bike with full load of gear, camping, like what a typical ADV ride. And there's not much I can say that I don't like about this bike. And I know that is a big claim or a big statement to say, but I have a BMW R1250 over here. I've got a Suzuki DR650 over here. I've got a TW200. I have a Husqvarna 450. And this bike, just as far as fun factor goes, it is really hard to beat. The weight isn't terrible. The power is surprisingly good. The suspension is, again, surprisingly good. And it's just, like I've said before on some of these bikes, it's just confidence inspiring. The seat height for me, having a low stature or a low inseam, a short inseam, it's perfect for me. When I straddle this bike, I can be flat-footed, which really helps when you're off-road and there's like rocks and ruts and all that, to be able to put your feet down whenever you need to. And the suspension, even though the rear doesn't have a preload adjustment on it, giving it the 2 turns that I did with the luggage that I had and the camping load that I had, it seemed like it was perfect. I think I only bottomed this bike out 1 or maybe 2 times, and it was on big jumps. You saw in the video, I was not nice to this bike. We took it on some big tank trap jumps. We did a lot of rocky hill climb terrain. There was ruts, there was, again, big rocks, mud, all that, and this bike just kept going. And I was just really impressed with, again, with the power and the suspension on it. There are a couple of things I would do to it if I was to own this bike for good. I would definitely just replace the rear spring, just because it does seem like it's a little bit soft when you get in the big whoopee style riding, or like the big chunky stuff. Maybe changing some of the shims and the forks would help. I don't know, but I can say, in stock form, for your average rider or even above average rider, it's gonna be really, really close to what you need. So I'm just gonna go through really quick from front to back and just kind of show you the things that I really like about the bike, and also some of the things in stock form that I feel like can be improved, or things that you would want to do to this bike right away to make it a better, more reliable machine. And the first thing that we're gonna start with is the tires. The tires were decent. I'm not gonna lie there. They were actually pretty decent for the terrain that we were riding, but as soon as it got muddy, then everything kind of turned to crap. These tires do not do very well in slick stuff. They didn't clean out very well, but on the highway and then the dirt and on the chunky stuff, they actually did pretty well. You can see here that these stock tires, they are tubeless, which is a huge plus for adventure bike, but the tread pattern is just kind of lacking. It's very similar to kind of like a Shinko 804 or an 805. I guess it's an 804, but you know, for just riding dirt roads and stuff like that, they're not bad. But for the mud, as you saw in the video, they're just kind of lacking. So the KYB suspension, this was actually shockingly good. And I know I've already said that, but this has 200 millimeters of travel in the front, which is quite a bit. And I will tell you, there's a few times that I used every bit of it. But for most of our riding, it was plenty. And again, I didn't even mess with the clickers on here. I could have definitely added some more compression and rebound, as I mentioned, and it probably would have been even better. But for the stock settings and not even touching it, it actually really wasn't that bad at all. The windscreen, as I've mentioned in previous videos, gives you this nice, satisfying click as you go up. So on the road, you know, you have a higher windscreen, and then when you hit off-road, you can always crank it down, and you get all the visual that you need when riding off-road. I put this Peak Designs phone mount right here on the, we'll call it the GPS bar or the support bar for the windshield, and it did just fine. I didn't have any issues at all. One thing that I thought was pretty neat too is that when it's attached to the windscreen, so when you raise your windscreen up, the GPS or your phone actually rises as well. So when you're standing, your eyes don't have to go down as far. So I thought that was pretty nice. Moving a little further back, the mirrors. I know I mentioned this in a previous video, but having the mirrors have the ability to just fold in. This bike went down several times. The handguards are all beat up. There's a few scratches on it. And the mirrors took kind of a beating as well, and they would just fold in every time. So, you know, there's other mirrors out there on the market that are very similar, but this comes stock. So I thought that's just one less thing that you have to purchase to save the bike whenever you're riding it on the trail. And again, to be able to just fold them in on your own or have them fold in when you hit stuff with them, that's pretty nice. Kurt from Black Dog added a skid plate to this bike when he was doing some fitment on it, like I mentioned before. But I had the ability to add crash bars on here, but I didn't really want the crash bars because I didn't want to add the weight to the bike, and it felt really nice and balanced the way it was. So I was a little bit worried about adding just too much weight up front. So I went ahead and just went with the skid plate. But one thing that you absolutely need to add to this bike is going to be hand guards. The hand guards on this bike got thrashed. One of them broke on the right hand side, broke back here. The left hand side broke over on the handlebar side. They're just plastic, so they're pretty flimsy. And they do a great job of blocking the wind down the highway, but to have the bike go down, you need some proper hand guards to both protect your levers and just all the controls, and, you know, kind of take the brunt when the bike does fall over. You can also, if it lands hopefully the way it should, you can protect a lot of your plastics as well. But I did break both the clutch and the brake lever. Luckily, they broke right where the little indention is that they're designed to do. They do have that in there, like I said, on both sides. You can see my little zip tie job to hold the other handguard on, but again, that's a minor thing that most people are going to do anyway. I cannot think of a motorcycle from the factory that comes with good handguards. So swapping these handguards out is definitely going to be something I do very next if I want to keep riding this thing off-road. Moving over to the seat. The seat is actually very narrow in the middle, very similar to a dirt bike seat. And because of that, being able to be flat-footed on the ground, especially with boots on, it's like I mentioned in the beginning, it's very confidence inspiring to be able to put my feet down. I have a 32-inch inseam, so that, I mean, I'm again flat-footed, both heels on the ground. Really nice. This is the standard seat. This isn't a low seat. They do make a high seat for you taller guys and girls out there, but from the factory, for me, the seat is perfect. And I think this is going to be something that women in general really like about the motorcycle. For a bike like this, to be able to have that low seat, for off-road riding, it's gonna build up confidence, as well as if you really need more, the rear shock has a bolt hole on it right there where you could even drop it down a little bit more. So moving over here to the pegs, I did replace the pegs with the factory CF Moto off-road pegs. They're aluminum, and they did just fine. I had no issues with those at all. They were plenty big enough, and I had plenty of grip when riding off-road. You saw at the beginning of the video when I installed those. They're just essentially basic aluminum pegs with some nice little cleats on them to hold your foot on. And moving on to the rear shock, like I said, I did put a couple of turns on it. There is no preload adjuster on there, so you do have to do it manually. Basically, you just take some weight off the bike and you adjust these, and I did 2 full turns on those to get the bike where it needed to be sag-wise, and it really didn't take much. Moving back here to the exhaust does protrude out quite a bit, and it does attach to the hanger here for the passenger foot peg. Luckily, these are not part of the subframe. They are bolted on, so You know, that makes it to where if you do just trash your exhaust, you can easily replace the bracket or the peg if you need to, if it does bend it up really bad or break it. The exhaust itself, I love the way the stock exhaust sounds. It's actually fairly quiet on the road, but then when you get on it, it has that kind of throaty, almost like a V-twin sound, even though this is a small displacement twin, inline twin. But one thing about it that I can't stand is that all the exhaust is underneath the engine. There's a couple of things. One, you lose a little bit of ground clearance. You do also get a little bit of heat come up from that because it's all kind of trapped in there. So I would highly suggest one of the first things you do other than hand guards is get a reputable beefy skid plate for this bike. It does have quite a bit of ground clearance as it is, but like I said, because you have components down there, your oil pan is there, your exhaust is there, your oil filter is there, you're gonna want to protect all that. So something like this Black Dog skid plate or an Outback Motortech, those skid plates are gonna be perfect for protecting the components of this motorcycle to ensure that you don't have a problem on the trail. I talked about the front tire, let's talk about the rear tire. Again, did pretty well for what we were doing, and in the mud, it was very disappointing. It likes to kick out left and right very, very easily, and it is very similar if you've ridden a Shinko 805. Now, if you have that on your bike and you love it, feel free to chew me out in the comments, but I'm not a huge fan of that tire. I've had it on bikes in the past, and it likes to kick out left or right. You know what's gonna happen, I guess, when you get in slick stuff, but it's still very uncontrollable. It does it when it wants. It doesn't do it when I want it to do it. It does it when it wants to do it. So now let's talk about the luggage. The CF Moto luggage or the Westwind Moto luggage that CF Moto co-brands, I will tell you now, and I am sorry Westwind, but I am not a fan. I had very minimal weight in this bike. I usually pack light, but I packed extremely light for this trip, and they didn't last an hour and a half. Yes, I was sending it on big jumps, on those tank traps and stuff like that, but I would have hoped that the material would not have torn through. Actually, I'll grab those for you and I'll show you. I literally just went and got these out of the garbage. So right here is where the leg ties in, and it just tore right out. And the other ones were looking pretty bad as well. The other side was starting to tear here. And even on the other tie there, you can't see it with the camera here, but it was starting to tear there as well. And I had, I mean, maybe 20 to 25 pounds of weight in each leg of those. I had, the side that actually tore first just had my sleeping bag and my sleeping pad in it. I had my tent up on top of the bike. So it was pretty surprising that just with that little amount of weight, made them tear. So anyway, unfortunately, if you're gonna buy the luggage from CF Moto, don't plan on doing rough terrain or plan on packing them very heavy. Maybe they're good for throwing stuff in when you're commuting and you need to go to the grocery store or something. But as far as off-road riding goes, I can't personally recommend them because they just didn't last long. Something like Moscow Moto that I have back here behind me makes an incredible product. Yes, you absolutely do pay more for them, but I've never had an issue with them. I've never had a tear seam or any of that kind of stuff. And on all my bikes, I ride fairly hard and I've never had any problems with them. So I'll get off that little soapbox now, but just want to let you know about the luggage. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching this whole video. If you have any questions at all about this motorcycle, definitely leave it down in the comments below. This bike, again, super impressed with it. I'm really hoping to get some more miles in on it in the next month or so before the weather really turns. It's full on fall here right now and it's definitely starting to turn quick, but I have some trips planned next week with it. So I'm hoping to get more content and more rides for you guys to show you what this bike can really do. But I'm really thinking if CF Moto gives me the opportunity that this bike is going to end up staying here in the Backcountry garage, and you will see more content on this in the future. But that being said, guys, if you like this video, check out this one right here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit that down below and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.